Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a truly unparalleled phenomenon, a couple so dazzling, so superior in every conceivable way, that they effortlessly command the adoration of millions while managing to appear grounded. Of course, I'm referring to none other than William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales royalty redefined, perfection personified, and frankly, a class above the rest of us mere mortals. Now, Meghan Markle may claim that the duo exudes a certain formality behind closed doors. But let's be real, this is simply an underestimation of the sophisticated elegance they bring to every aspect of their lives. Their every move is a masterclass in poise and purpose, a reality so nuanced that it simply escapes those who fail to grasp their brilliance. Catherine, with her flawless blend of warmth and otherworldly grace, doesn't just interact with the public, she transcends the moment, leaving an indelible mark of perfection wherever she goes. Little wonder she's adored on a global scale. Her relatability is the stuff of legend, a gift bestowed upon the world by the heavens themselves. And then there's William. His transformation from reluctant heir to formidable leader is nothing short of inspirational, a tale of growth that demonstrates why he is destined to be the finest king of our era. Together, they are not just the future of the monarchy, they are its golden standard. As a young prince, William grappled with the immense pressures of his birthright, navigating the weight of expectation and responsibility. Today, he stands as a figure of unwavering strength and stability, embodying the qualities of a modern monarch. His commitment to mental health, exemplified through initiatives like Heads Together, demonstrates his determination to break down barriers and address issues long stigmatized within traditional circles. Equally commendable is his dedication to environmental advocacy, most notably through the Earthshot Prize, which underscores his forward-thinking approach to tackling some of the most pressing challenges of our time. In his personal life, William's devotion to his family is evident. Together with Catherine, he has cultivated a nurturing environment for their children, ensuring they enjoy a childhood defined by love and stability, despite the relentless public spotlight. This seamless balance of duty and personal fulfillment sets a powerful example for future generations, reflecting a deep understanding of the complexities of modern leadership. Meghan Markle's assertion that William and Catherine maintain an excessive level of formality, even in private, raises questions about her grasp of the unique demands placed upon members of the royal family. To many, their composure and professionalism in public, coupled with their evident warmth as parents and partners, paint a far more nuanced and admirable reality. While Meghan's perspective is undoubtedly shaped by her own experiences, it overlooks the intricate nature of the roles that William and Catherine occupy. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's decision to step back from royal duties has only highlighted the contrasting approaches between the two couples. While Meghan and Harry often adopt a more casual, outspoken style, William and Catherine have remained resolute in their commitment to the values of discretion and decorum. The global appeal of the Prince and Princess of Wales is undeniable. Their international tours consistently draw overwhelming enthusiasm, reflecting their remarkable ability to connect with diverse audiences around the world. Catherine's fluency in French and her thoughtful efforts to engage with local cultures during overseas visits further demonstrate her dedication to fostering goodwill and understanding. William, too, has shown a profound awareness of global issues. His speeches on climate change and conservation resonate far beyond the UK, positioning him as a leader with a clear vision for the future. Together, they continue to set a standard of royal service that transcends national boundaries, solidifying their status as modern figures of international significance. Together, William and Catherine represent a monarchy that is deeply rooted in tradition while remaining attuned to the evolving needs of a changing world. As the future king and queen, they embody the aspirations of a nation, and their ability to balance the weight of tradition with the demands of a modern, diverse society sets them apart. As leaders uniquely equipped to navigate the challenges ahead, their approach to parenting, grounded, attentive, and protective, offers a window into the values they will bring to their reign. By prioritizing their children's well-being while embracing their public duties, they have established a new standard for royal leadership. Let us now embark on a closer examination of William and Catherine's multifaceted personas, uncovering how they have meticulously crafted a delicate balance between tradition and innovation, formality and relatability. Every action, every gesture seems thoughtfully calibrated to reflect the weight of their responsibilities and the scrutiny of an often critical world. William and Catherine's story is one of quiet strength and enduring partnership. In an era of rapid change and constant scrutiny, they have emerged as symbols of stability and grace. Their journey is far from over, but one thing is certain: the Prince and Princess of Wales have already made an indelible mark on the monarchy, shaping its future in ways that will resonate for generations to come. Expanding on the narrative, it is essential to examine the layers of Meghan's missteps and her audacious attempts to elevate herself at the expense of others. Take, for instance, her self-proclaimed role as a hugger. How convenient it is to adopt this persona when it serves her agenda to cast others as cold or unapproachable. In truth, Meghan's so-called warmth often comes across not as genuine affection, but rather as a carefully calculated performance. The suggestion that William and Catherine's hesitation to embrace her was born of formality rather than discernment is, frankly, laughable. Their sense of duty and decorum is far more refined than to be swayed by trivialities. Instead, their interactions are marked by an innate understanding of what is truly fitting in the royal sphere. If anything, William and Catherine's instincts to maintain a polite distance from Meghan seem entirely justified. Would anyone willingly embrace someone whose actions clearly reflect duplicity and self-interest? Meghan's apparent inability, or perhaps her refusal to read the room, is yet another glaring flaw. Take, for example, the incident where she hosted guests in ripped jeans and bare feet, knowing full well that she was meeting the future monarchs for the first time. This was not an endearing display of casualness, it was a blatant show of disrespect cloaked in feigned nonchalance. What's even more troubling is her subsequent portrayal of this encounter as evidence of the royal family's supposed rigidity. In reality, her lack of decorum speaks volumes about her priorities, or rather, the lack of respect for tradition and the absence of any real effort to integrate. Her obsession with appearances, both literal and figurative, adds yet another layer of irony. Meghan's constant need to control the narrative often leads to contradictions that quickly unravel her carefully curated image. For instance, Meghan presents herself as a relatable, humble figure while simultaneously cultivating a lifestyle defined by excess and entitlement. Her failure to reconcile these opposing personas leaves her image as flimsy as a house of cards, unable to stand up to scrutiny. Then there's the issue of her emotional and physical clinginess. Observers have noted her incessant need to latch on to Harry, not as a natural act of affection, but as a calculated display. There is a stark difference between genuine warmth and the theatricality of someone desperately trying to project an image. Meghan's behavior often feels less like a genuine connection and more like a staged spectacle designed to reinforce her carefully crafted narrative. Equally troubling are her continuous attempts to undermine William and Catherine. The so-called hugging incident is just one example of her efforts to position herself as the antithesis of what she perceives as their formality. Yet, time and again, Catherine's authenticity shines through. Her genuine warmth and relatability are evident both in public engagements and behind closed doors, further highlighting the contrast between their approaches. Meghan's failure to replicate the authenticity demonstrated by William and Catherine only underscores her shortcomings. The so-called sixth sense or intuition that William and Catherine likely relied upon when deciding to keep Meghan at arm's length proves to be a critical factor. It's not about formality, it's about discernment. When faced with someone who radiates in sincerity and self-interest, who wouldn't instinctively erect boundaries? What's particularly grating is Meghan's tendency to frame herself as the victim in every scenario. Whether it's a perceived slight during a dinner or an imagined snub during a royal engagement, she consistently shifts the blame onto others. Her inability to take responsibility for her own actions, coupled with her penchant for twisting narratives to suit her agenda, is nothing short of exhausting. Even her affections seem to come with strings attached. Genuine warmth doesn't demand validation or applause. Yet Meghan's interactions with her husband, her children, or those in her orbit often feel like a performance crafted for public consumption. The contrast with William and Catherine, whose interactions radiate authenticity and mutual respect, couldn't be starker. Their public appearances are nothing short of a masterclass in regal comportment. Whether engaging with citizens on a walkabout or hosting dignitaries at Kensington Palace, the couple exudes a natural grace that belies the immense scrutiny they face. Unlike their more contentious counterparts, William and Catherine have perfected the art of measured communication, using their public moments to project stability and unity rather than discord. The overarching theme here is Meghan's relentless pursuit of control over the narrative of public perception and even over the people around her. Her inability to coexist within an institution that demands selflessness and duty speaks volumes about her priorities. She's less concerned with contributing meaningfully and more invested in ensuring that the spotlight remains firmly fixed on her. Perhaps the most telling aspect of this saga is the public's response. While Meghan's fan base clings to her every word, the broader audience has grown increasingly weary of her antics. The endless contradictions, blatant self-promotion, and consistent undermining of others have begun to wear thin. In stark contrast, William and Catherine's steady, grounded approach continues to earn them respect and admiration. So when Meghan claims to be a hugger, one can't help but question the authenticity of that statement. Is it genuine warmth she seeks to convey, or is it yet another calculated move in her ongoing quest for relevance? The answer seems clear. Meghan's actions speak louder than her words, and they tell a story of someone far removed from the genuine connection she so desperately tries to project. Let's not beat around the bush. If there were ever a masterclass in how to misinterpret cultural norms and capitalize on victimhood narratives, Meghan Markle has certainly cornered the market, from her baffling remarks about a hugging faux pas to her perpetual need to be at the center of attention. It's astonishing how every interaction she recounts somehow devolves into a slight against her supposed magnanimity. What Meghan fails to grasp, or perhaps deliberately ignores, is that not everything is about her, and certainly not everyone shares her perception of social propriety. One can hardly blame Catherine for her discernment. Meghan's very presence often exudes a sort of performative energy that raises red flags for those with even a modicum of intuition. Catherine, with her years of experience navigating royal engagements and interacting with people from all walks of life, likely sensed something was amiss. Perhaps it was Meghan's oddly casual demeanor barefoot and in ripped jeans, despite knowing she was about to meet senior royals. But of course it was the audacity, the sheer, unrelenting entitlement. I mean, who marches into a room expecting warmth and camaraderie like it's some sort of royal buffet, and without even the slightest effort? Please. Catherine, on the other hand, embodies restraint like it's an Olympic sport. Truly, her patience and good judgment deserve a gold medal. Let's not forget, darlings, William and Catherine have spent years, over a decade, mind you, masterfully crafting their image as the monarchy's poster children. Relatable yet dignified, that's their brand. They don't just do warmth, they are warmth, wrapped in elegance, sprinkled with a pinch of fairy dust. I mean, have you seen Catherine crouching down to chat with children like a modern-day Mary Poppins? Or William cracking jokes with servicemen like he's everyone's favorite dad at the barbecue? It's art, pure and simple. And then there's Meghan. Oh, bless her heart. With her over-the-top gestures and marathon hand-holding sessions that scream, look, we're in love. It's like she's starring in a rom-com where nobody asked for a sequel. Let's not even talk about the exaggerated PDA, its less charming warmth and more awkward high school prom. Her claim to be a hugger? Sweetie, if that's hugging, I'm the Queen of England. Authenticity doesn't need a spotlight, but Meghan? Oh, she's got floodlights, fireworks, and a megaphone screaming, look at me, I'm relatable. Meanwhile, the actual royals are out there being relatable without the theatrics. So, who really understands the art of connection? I think the answer is glaringly obvious, but then again, I do have impeccable taste. The drama, the theatrics, the star of her own show. What we have here isn't warmth or sincerity, it's a meticulously curated performance. The clinging, textbook. The desperate need to commandeer every conversation, classic lead character syndrome. And the so-called empathy, darling, it's so performative it deserves a standing ovation at the next awards show. It's less about genuine care and more about making sure all eyes are on her. Even this hugging shtick, let's be honest, it feels like a carefully crafted PR narrative. Look at me, it screams, I'm the warm, relatable one in a sea of stiff royals. It's like she's auditioning for the role of a misunderstood heroine, casting poor Catherine and William as the unfeeling villains in her soap opera. And then there's Meghan's delightful little anecdote about her first meeting with William and Catherine. I was barefoot and in ripped jeans, she proclaims, as though she were recounting a quirky meet-cute in a rom-com. Darling, this wasn't brunch with your sorority sisters, this was a meeting with future monarchs. The utter lack of decorum is nothing short of jaw-dropping. It's as if she thought showing up casual would earn her extra points for being authentic. Spoiler, it didn't. This moment perfectly encapsulates her approach to the royal family: an unwillingness to adapt, a refusal to respect tradition, and an insistence that the world contorts itself to fit her whims. Because why bother with a little thing like decorum when you can just rewrite the rules to suit yourself? After all, in Meghan's world, the spotlight is never shared, it's hers and hers alone. But hey, I'll give her this, she's committed to the act. Too bad the rest of us didn't realize we were extras in her one-woman show. Ah, Catherine, a shining beacon of grace, composure, and that oh so rare ability to understand the assignment. She respects tradition, embraces protocol, and somehow modernizes her role without tossing centuries of history out the window. It's a delicate dance, and she nails it every time like a prima ballerina on the stage of royal life. And then there's Meghan endlessly spinning her narrative of victimhood. The tales of no hugs, chilly welcomes, and no one stopping to ask, "How are you, sweetie?" It's exhausting. For someone who constantly preaches about resilience and self-empowerment, she sure seems oddly dependent on everyone else's approval. Self-empowered, you say, or just self-centered? The line seems a little blurry. Meanwhile, Catherine defines quiet strength. She's faced more scrutiny and pressure than most of us could even imagine, yet she's never indulged in a public pity party. No whining, no woe is me. Netflix specials, just grace, dignity, and a commitment to doing the work, whether it's championing mental health initiatives or perfecting her role as a mother. She doesn't need to broadcast her struggles to earn applause. She inspires admiration by simply showing up and getting the job done. Oh, and let's talk about balance. William and Catherine have managed to blend the weight of royal tradition with the needs of the modern world, and they make it look effortless. It's like watching a masterclass in elegance and adaptability. Compare that to Meghan, whose idea of modernity seems to involve tossing tradition aside entirely while shouting, "Look how revolutionary I am." In the end, one pair leads with dignity while the other seems to lead with drama. Guess which one inspires the world and which one just exhausts it? Ah, William and Catherine, the royal power duo who have mastered the art of modern monarchy. They've embraced technology and social media with finesse, connecting with younger generations while keeping their integrity intact. No TikTok dance challenges or cringeworthy oversharing here, just candid family moments and causes that genuinely matter. It's authenticity with a royal stamp of approval. Their family-focused approach is the stuff of fairy tales. Sharing sweet, down-to-earth photos of their kids, championing charities, and showing us that yes, even future monarchs know the chaos of parenting, it all resonates deeply. They're relatable, yet aspirational, proving you can be both without losing your dignity. And then there's Meghan. Ah, Meghan. Her platform seems less about making a difference and more about making headlines. From her podcast to the Netflix docuseries, everything feels less like a heartfelt effort and more like, look at me. Aren't I fascinating? Vanity projects, anyone? The difference is glaring. While Catherine's work feels like a bridge to the public, Meghan's feels like a stage. Take their walkabouts, for example. Catherine's genuine warmth is practically contagious. That radiant smile, those heartfelt chats with kids and seniors, it's clear she sees herself as a connector, a servant of the people. Meghan's approach? Let's just say it often feels more about the photo op than the moment. In the end, William and Catherine remind us that leadership is about service, not spotlight. Meghan? Well, she's still figuring that part out. William embodies the very definition of a modern royal, seamlessly connecting with veterans, environmentalists, and young innovators. It's not just about shaking hands and nodding politely, it's about championing causes that genuinely reflect the spirit of today's United Kingdom. And let's not forget the late Queen Elizabeth II, whose legendary warmth and wit set the gold standard for royal charisma. Her shared moments of laughter with William and Catherine weren't just charming, they were a testament to a bond rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. Catherine, of course, didn't just win over the Queen, she won over an entire family. Her ability to navigate the complexities of royal life with grace and emotional intelligence is nothing short of remarkable. She's not just a royal by title, she's a royal in spirit, proving that humility and effort go a long way in forging real connections. Then there's Meghan. Oh, Meghan. The struggle to connect seems to follow her like a shadow. Genuine relationships require humility, effort, and mutual respect, qualities that Meghan's behavior often seems to sidestep in favor of self-promotion. Relationships can't be built on demands for instant validation or an insistence that the world revolve around you. And when we zoom out to the bigger picture, the contrast is almost poetic. William and Catherine are dedicated to their roles, putting service and responsibility at the forefront. They're about action, not applause. Meghan, on the other hand, often seems caught up in crafting her personal narrative, complaining about perceived slights or positioning herself as the misunderstood outsider in her own melodrama. In the end, one side is focused on the greater good, while the other is busy auditioning for center stage. The difference couldn't be clearer. The stark contrast could not be more glaring. Catherine's selflessness shines like a beacon, evident in her tireless dedication to mental health advocacy, early childhood development, and other critical causes. Her work isn't about grabbing headlines, it's about creating meaningful change. Meghan's self-centeredness, on the other hand, feels like a cautionary tale of what happens when humility and authenticity take a backseat to ego and grievances. William and Catherine's success isn't just about following tradition, it's about forging genuine connections with people. Whether through William's passionate environmental efforts or Catherine's hands-on approach with children and families, they embody what it means to serve with grace and purpose. Their warmth and relatability aren't performative, they're the real deal. Meghan, meanwhile, seems to struggle with this, whether it stems from insecurities, a misguided strategy, or simply a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to connect. The result is clear: a gulf between her and the couple who exemplify the best of modern royalty. So that's a wrap on today's Royal Deep Dive. The difference between Meghan's questionable approach and the timeless elegance of Catherine and William couldn't be more apparent. While some chase the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, others naturally radiate grace, humility, and true service. Now, over to you. What's your take on the dynamics at play here? Who do you think truly embodies the essence of royalty? The stark differences couldn't be more evident, could they? Meghan's endless stream of anecdotal critiques contrasts sharply with the Prince and Princess of Wales' public demeanor, which exemplifies not cold formality, but a measured and respectful professionalism. Their every action reflects a couple deeply committed to their roles as symbols of continuity and hope for a nation weathering turbulent times. And the idea that William and Catherine are stiff or overly formal in private. Let's put that notion to rest. Those close to the couple consistently describe a family full of warmth, humor, and genuine connection, a duo deeply in tune with each other's needs and wholeheartedly devoted to the emotional well-being of their 3 children. It's a picture of balance, regal when duty calls, but relatable when it comes to their roles as parents and partners. So, what do you think? Do you see the same striking contrast? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more royal insights. Ring the bell to stay updated, and share this video with your fellow royal watchers. Let's keep the conversation going, and we'll see you in the next one. While William and Catherine may not engage in the overt displays of affection favored by others, their dynamic speaks volumes through its quiet, steadfast partnership. Their shared moments at public events, whether a knowing glance, a gentle touch on the arm, or a brief burst of shared laughter, offer subtle yet profound glimpses into a bond rooted in mutual respect and understanding. It's a stark contrast to the performative tendencies often observed in other high-profile royal pairings, where affection sometimes feels more like a spectacle than a genuine connection. To speak of Catherine is to recognize a phenomenon in modern royalty. From her early days as Kate Middleton to her current role as the Princess of Wales, she has navigated the pressures of royal life with an extraordinary poise and elegance that has captivated a global audience. While her influence on fashion is undeniable, she's a style icon in her own right. It is her impact beyond the wardrobe that truly defines her legacy. Catherine's initiatives, such as the Early Years Foundation, exemplify her dedication to creating meaningful, lasting change. Grounded in research and driven by a genuine passion for the causes she champions, her approach to philanthropy sets a new standard for royal engagement. Unlike the fleeting gestures often seen elsewhere, Catherine's work is meticulously designed to endure, reflecting a deep understanding of the issues at hand and a commitment to making a real difference. Her efforts remind us that true leadership lies not in grand gestures, but in purposeful action. Catherine's ability to combine elegance with substance has not only redefined her role, but has also elevated the very concept of modern royalty.